We've had some smoky sunrises over the last couple of days. Here's a viewer photo sent in by Mark Hall. Thank you so much for sending this in. You can see those low-level areas of haze and smoke covering the Tepisque Peak Mountains. We even had a few mid to high-level clouds out there. Please send in your viewer photos. I love to broadcast them. They don't have to be about the smoke and the haze and the fire. Here's some beautiful iridescent clouds over Goleta, taken a couple days ago by Charles. You can see the sun reflecting off those clouds and giving almost a rainbow effect. Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mackenzie Lake. Let's dive into our full Wednesday forecast as I am still tracking warm weather and exceptionally hot conditions closest to the Gifford fire. Here's a look at high pressure today, right to the south of Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is going to continue to push closer to the central coast as we track through our Thursday, meaning that we're on the rise with our temperatures, and I think we'll have our peak heating arriving Thursday, Friday. Here's a look at our winds over the next couple of hours. This is a wind-driven fire that we're tracking through the Los Padres National Forest. Today's not going to be too bad of a day when it comes to our winds. Let's talk about our hour-by-hour forecast here. Starting at 2 p.m., we're up to double digits for most of those areas north of Gaviota, a light breeze through Santa Ynez, but most of these winds are streaming out from the north and northwest. So as we travel through dinner time, now we're up to 5:30 p.m., we're getting those stronger winds through Paso Robles, California Valley, and Shandon. However, our winds in my modeling showing near Coyama, we're just going to be about 10 miles per hour or less. Really good sign for firefighters out there. We may see some gusts pretty close to 20 miles per hour, but all things considered, some of our strongest winds are occurring near the Gaviota corridor and even up in Paso Robles for the day. Luckily for us, our winds are from the north and northwest, meaning that our smoke and haze won't be as bad as the last few days. I do think most of that smoke and haze will travel over into the Grapevine area and closer to Kern County. Here's our fire hotspots to start out the morning. If you've been watching over the last few days, this is showing that from satellite and radar imagery just how hot some of these signatures are. Typically early in the morning we don't see very warm signatures, but we're getting a pretty big impulse there from our northern flank of the fire. That's one thing that firefighters will have to watch out for. But as of this morning, 9% containment, and we're looking pretty good with our weather today. However, the bigger concern is as we track into our Thursday. High pressure continues to strengthen, and my forecast is calling for triple digits close to Coyama. So we'll watch as those humidity values drop down to about 15–20% in those areas. Light winds, but the heat's also going to help aid in that fire growth and in that fire consumption. As we track into Friday, while we're still tracking high pressure, we're going to remain above average for most inland areas, and we're going to be watching out again for those triple digits yet again. Here's our conditions in Santa Barbara. So hazy today, peak heating on Thursday, and then holding above average by Friday. So some warm days on tap for us. Again, I think we'll still see some smoke and haze in the air, but not nearly as bad of air quality readings as the last few days. Here's temperatures for the rest of the region: 79 in Montecito, 70 in Isla Vista. Overnight lows will drop down into the 50s. Light sundowner winds through the Gaviota corridor, but other than that, we're not going to be tracking much other than some summer-like weather for a majority of the coverage zone. 1 degree off of triple digits up in Paso Robles, 80 in Avila Beach, sitting at a beautiful 82 in San Luis Obispo, and down in Ventura County, some areas of air quality concerns, but as far as temperatures, looking pretty mild and summer-like closest to the beaches. We'll max out at 76 there in Ventura. Happy Wednesday, practice fire and heat safety, and check in on our mobile app and websites for updates on evacuation warnings and orders and fire acreage containment efforts as well.